Good morning. Okay, we're going to redo that. Hello, and welcome to Real, the unedited life of a Christian woman. I'm Haley, your host, and today we're going to be talking about my supplement stack. I thought it might be interesting for us to go through that. Me as a family nurse practitioner going through perimenopause and just various health needs might help somebody else out there as far as what you could potentially do for supplements. A lot of what I do has come from, my past knowledge of being a family nurse practitioner, as well as having or going through perimenopause right now. I listen a lot to or read Dr. Mary Claire Haver's advice. And so some of it comes from her. So, if you are going through perimenopause or you are interested in different supplements, you might want to take a listen and just see what I do. All right. So, as far as how long I've been taking these supplements consistently, probably a few months now. I've had some as a supplement routine for a while, like a multivitamin and calcium for a couple decades, probably. But I've recently added more. So we'll start going through those. So the first thing in my supplement stack is magnesium L-threonate. Now this magnesium is 144 milligrams of magnesium L-threonate per 3 capsules. Okay. I take one after lunch and I take two at bedtime. Now, from a healthcare standpoint, magnesium is a supplement that is known to help with several things, one being constipation, another being sleep. So, this particular magnesium is not as much known for constipation, but more known for sleep. And so it can be very beneficial in perimenopause because in perimenopause, sleep disturbances are common in women. I am 43. I started going through this early. I went to see my GYN a couple months ago, and she was quite surprised at how far into it I actually was already. But my mother went through it at the age of 40, and so I'm not that surprised. Disappointed a little, but I'm not that surprised that I'm going through it right now. So the magnesium L-threonate, it does, I think, cross the blood-brain barrier, and so that makes it a little more potent, I guess you would say. Uh, the brand I use is Life Extension Neuromag, and it's also supposed to help neurologically, so your brain as well. Um, I do feel like, you're supposed to take 3 at bedtime per the bottle, but that would be too much for me, I think. This stuff can, like, knock me out, not kidding. So I actually take one after lunch, and I feel it has a little bit of a calming effect on me and a little bit of a focus effect, and then I take 2 at bedtime along with my progesterone, which we'll talk about. So, magnesium L-threonate, I get mine off of Amazon. I think it's about $30 for a bottle for a 1-month supply, so it's not cheap, but it does work. I'm a believer in quality supplements. If you're gonna buy just some Flojo supplement, that's cheap, you probably shouldn't even be taking it because it's probably not doing a lot for you, just gonna be honest there. All right. So, number 2 supplement that I take is calcium plus D3. So, calcium plus vitamin D3. Calcium is very important for women who are going through perimenopause because part of perimenopause and menopause is bone loss, just naturally. You're going to lose bone. And what is super important for bones is calcium. Okay. And we typically don't get enough as Americans in our daily diet of calcium. So I take, it's called Horbach. I think is how you say it, Horbaach, absorbable calcium, calcium plus D3. It's 1,200 milligrams per 2 soft gels, and I only take one per day. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why. The dose says two, but I use an app called Chronometer, And when I plugged all of my supplements in, I was getting too much vitamin D3 and I had to cut back somewhere. So that's the reason I only take one. So, a little bit of a health lesson here. There are water soluble vitamins and there are fat soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins like vitamin B, if you get too much of it, you are going to urinate out what your body doesn't use. So if you ever notice that you've taken vitamin B12 or a B vitamin, a lot of times it's going to turn your urine a funny color, right? So what you're doing is you're basically eliminating the vitamin B that your body isn't using, okay? So with fat soluble vitamins, which are vitamins A, D, E, and K, remember D, D3, D is in there, you can get too much of it and you can have a toxicity of it. So it's important that you know how much vitamin D you're taking and that you're not taking too much of it. Okay. I have taken too much vitamin D in the past. What did it do to me? It caused me to be super nauseated and feel yuck. Okay. So be aware of that. Don't get too much vitamin D. And we will talk about the app Chronometer in a little bit to help you as far as supplements go, because it's very easy if you're supplementing different things to get too much of something. I have seen patients come in. I remember one in particular literally had a list of 25 plus supplements she was on, and at the time, I was not a nurse practitioner. I was working at an OBGYN office, and I asked the physician, I was like, "Is it dangerous to take this many supplements?" And she was like, "Absolutely it is. Like, you don't know what's interacting with what. Like, we don't even know what this stuff is." So, and I will tell you something, as clinicians, we are not trained on supplements. Like, at all, hardly. I do remember being told about a database of supplements we could look at. I don't even remember what it was called now. But we're so focused on your prescription medicines that we really don't look a lot at supplements. Some, but not much at all. So be aware of that. I'll get questions sometimes, patients that are specifically taking hair medication like minoxidil, and they want to know if it's okay if they take this particular supplement with it. I have to look it up because I don't know a lot of these supplements. It's not something that we're trained on much. Okay, so calcium plus D3, I take one of those. Um, and you also have to pay a little bit of attention to the calories in these. Like that particular pill has 15 calories in it. Like, what? That's strange. But it does, especially the gummies. Sometimes the gummies have calories. Um, so number 3 is I take a multivitamin for women who are 50 plus. It's the Ritual vegan capsules in mint. Now, the reason I take the multivitamin for women who are 50 plus is because I'm going through perimenopause. And these vitamins are kind of targeted at women who are menopausal, who need that extra support. And so for a while, I took the ones that are just their regular multivitamin for women, and that would probably be okay. But I just thought I could use the extra support. So I take 2 of those daily. And I will say, there is that mint essence that they have. I'm not a fan of it. Uh, some people might be. It leaves this, like, minty taste in your mouth after you've swallowed the capsules, and some people might like that, but I do not. Um, but it's not been something that I've been like, "I'm not taking these anymore." Like, it's fine, whatever. They're a good quality multivitamin. Ritual, Ritual, is a good company known for quality supplements. Number 4 is omega-3 fatty acids. Now, it's DHA plus EPA from microalgae. I get this also from Ritual. This one is citrus, and it's not as bad. And I think the reason they do citrus is because omega-3 fatty acids are typically found in fish. And what do we do with fish? We usually will season it or whatever with lemon. And so I think that's what they do with the citrus. And actually, the citrus I like. Like I would rather have the citrus than the mint. Um, but I don't eat fish hardly at all. So, and that's something that I should work on. I really should put that in my diet at least once a week, but I don't. And so it's important that I get that omega-3 fatty acids because they do a lot of good in your body. You know, I think to the Bible times and how much it talks in the Bible about them eating fish, right? So fish is really good for you. And, we should eat fish, but I don't really, and so omega-3 fatty acids are important to get, that DHA, that EPA, very good for a lot of things in your body. So I do supplement that because that's I think the real thing is always the best, but if you're not getting it, then a supplement is, at least something. And then another thing I supplement with is Viviscal, which is it's Viviscal, Viviscal hair growth supplement collagen complex. You're supposed to take one pill twice daily. I'm only taking one. I'm pretty sensitive to supplements and to medications in general. And so I just do one. I tried to take it twice daily and then I slept funny one night and I was like, I don't know if it had an impact or not, but we're gonna go with one. Uh it's an amino marine complex is what they call it. Viviscal is Vivical was recommended to me by my dermatologist, it and Nutrafol. Now, when you look at Viviscal and Nutrafol's prices, Viviscal is a cheaper alternative. I order mine off of Amazon. You can get it in store at Target, or at least you could. I have seen it there. It is cheaper than Nutrafol. Nutrafol's pretty expensive. I feel like it was like $70 plus for a 1 month supply of Nutrafol. And Nutrafol's a known good hair vitamin for women, but I didn't want to pay that much for it. And so Viviscal was recommended by my dermatologist. Honestly, it does seem to help. You have to give any hair growth supplement that you take around 3 months to see a difference because that's part of the hair growth cycle, okay? Anything that you start now for your hair growth, you're really not gonna see a lot of change for 3 months. So give it at least 3 months, 6 months is even recommended because then you're gonna really start to see the improvement. But for me, it did thicken up my hair a little bit. I got some regrowth in places that I had thinned out. Is it like a miracle pill? No, but what is, right? I have considered doing minoxidil, which is minoxidil is a prescription medication. You can get it online. I know Hims and Hers does minoxidil. Probably a lot of different online companies do minoxidil. Obviously, you have to think about your health history and different things. It can lower your blood pressure a little, but these are like tiny milligram doses. But minoxidil does help with hair loss and hair regrowth. And so that's something I've considered, not done it thus far, but it is something that I have considered. So I take Viviscal, one pill a day. It does seem to help. And that's one of those things, guys, if you stop a hair supplement or you stop a pill that you're using for hair growth, it's gonna you're gonna see what you got in growth return back to what it was before. It's really a lifelong medication. People need to understand that. The next supplement is VitaFusion fiber gummies. So this may be TMI, but I have chronic constipation. Okay. I have struggled with that since I was a baby, a toddler, a child, a teen, a young adult, an adult, even now. Like it's just part of who I am genetically. It's always going to be part of me. So what I do is I take two fiber gummies daily. When I started microdosing tirzepatide, I increased that to 4 daily. So I'll take 2 around lunchtime and then 2 around bedtime. And then I also take stool softener, which is I just get the Sam's Club Members Mark stool softener in the big bottles. It is cheapest that way. And I take 5 capsules daily. So I'll take before tirzepatide, I only did 3 daily at night, but with tirzepatide, I've increased it to 2, and I still use Miralax as needed, guys. So it's important to have regular bowel movements. It's not something everybody wants to talk about, but it is part of life. And so I take literally, now that's not for everybody. For some people, that would be way too much. Okay. So you should always talk to your personal primary care doctor or provider before you do a supplement routine, especially if you're not familiar with things, because like I said, you can do too much. You can some supplements do interact with things like St. John's wort for depression. It can interact with some things. There are ones out there that you have to be careful with. So I always say, don't just because I'm on here saying that I do this does not mean that's something that you should necessarily do. You need to check with your doctor. So, as a recap, I take magnesium L-threonate, which is Life Extension's Neuromag. I take calcium plus D3. I take Horbach absorbable calcium, available on Amazon. I take a multivitamin for 50 plus women, even though I'm only 43, and I get that from Ritual. I take omega-3 fatty acids from Ritual as well. I take Viviscal, available on Amazon and in store at Target. And I take Vitafusion fiber gummies and stool softener. Those are my supplements. And I will post the links on my website, www.realwithhaley.com, so that you can look those up if you're interested in buying them and those sorts of things. Um, I'm going to post it on, who knows? So, also, medications I take. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys because why not, right? This is Real with Haley. Where who cares? Like, everybody has different needs physically, mentally, emotionally. Everybody's bodies are different genetically. We have prior genetic predispositions to things. I'm somebody who believes in a natural approach, but also a medicinal approach. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking medicine if you need it. Okay. Like, that's my approach, and that's just what I believe. So, my medicines, I take Paxil or paroxetine generic, 10 milligrams once at night. This helps me with anxiety and depression. It helps me with hot flashes and perimenopausal symptoms and sleep. So it does a lot of things for me, works well for me, and so I'm continuing on it. I take omeprazole once daily in the mornings for heartburn and acid reflux. There are differing opinions on omeprazole. Omeprazole is one of those things that can deplete magnesium and different things over time. So sometimes it's good to take a drug holiday, as we call it, maybe like, a few weeks off of it, a week off of it, and then restart it again so your body doesn't get used to having it all the time. Like, you give your body a break from it occasionally. But I mean, it is available like over the counter now. So it's a drug that's really, I mean, they wouldn't put it available over the counter if it was, like that harmful. So omeprazole 20 milligrams once daily. I take Flonase and Allegra every day. I have seasonal allergies. We live in Kentucky. My allergies, I didn't have allergies until I was around college age, I guess. And then all of a sudden, seasonal allergies were like, bam, here we are. And I've struggled with it ever since. And so I take those 2 things daily. The Flonase helps me with, I have a deviated septum, and so I'll get, like, these nasal headaches and things, and the Flonase is a nasal steroid, so it helps with that as well. And the Allegra is just a daily allergy medicine. Take both of those things. And also, as an aside, Allegra is the least sedating, or supposed to be the least sedating, of all the allergy medicines. So, a little trick that we learned was if you do it alphabetically, that is how the allergy medicines line up as far as whether or not they cause much sedation. So, like Allegra being an A is the least sedating. Zyrtec, being a Z, is the most sedating. So Zyrtec is known for making you the sleepiest, right? So that was a little trick we learned. You're welcome. Tirzepatide, I take once weekly as a microdose, and I'm just using it to help with perimenopausal hunger cravings. You know, our hormones fluctuate so wildly in perimenopause. I gained about 10 to 15 pounds when I was going through this. And this is just helping me. I think I've lost maybe 4 pounds since I started like a month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. No, probably even longer than that. I don't know. I'm working out every day though. And so I really like the terzepatide. It's helping me a lot. I also do an estrogen patch and progesterone. So it's important that if you're on estrogen and you have a uterus, that you also take progesterone to keep your uterine lining thin. So progesterone not only helps with that, but it also helps with sleep at night. So I take it at bedtime. There's a lot of things here, but, and it's a lot to keep up with, this supplement routine, like, but I have done it consistently now for probably the last 1 to 2 months, and I have seen a huge difference in just, like, the stability of my moods, in the, way I feel, in the, just overall, even with, like, constipation, my symptoms have been great, like, bowel movements have been more regular, those sorts of things, so it's very important that you don't put your body through this, like, wave of ups and downs. When you're taking supplements here and there, your body is like, "Oh, we have a supplement today. Oh, wait, we don't have it today. We're gonna miss it a couple of days. Oh, wait, here it is again." It's not doing you a lot of good when you're doing it like that. Like, you have to consistently do something over time for it to make a huge difference. So, and that goes back to, me reading Atomic Habits, and if, go to my website and check out, realwithhaley.com, and look, and my YouTube channel, I've got a lot of things about habits and building habits and keeping habits. And so, very important there. So, we did talk about how you have to be careful with supplements, and especially vitamin A, D, E, and K, as you can get too much of those and cause some toxicity. So, especially with vitamin D, a lot of people in our culture now are on to this vitamin D. And yes, vitamin D can make a huge difference. Like, you can be depressed if you're low on vitamin D. And in Kentucky, a lot of people are, because we are seasonal. We have, the summer sun. You get vitamin D through the sunshine. And when it's so cloudy all the time and you're not outside a lot, you can get low in vitamin D, but you can also overdose on it. So be careful there. And so I want to talk a little bit about Chronometer, which is the app that I have been using um, to track my nutrition, which I should do better with that. But more importantly, one day I was like, I wonder if Chronometer has supplements in it. And so I started plugging in my supplements, and they do, y'all. You can track your supplements in Chronometer. So Chronometer is like Crano, Crano, meter, Meter, Chronometer. And I think, did I put down? I think I did. Yes. So Chronometer is 49.99 per year or 8.99 per month. And I think if you do the 49.99 per year, you don't have to worry about it for a year. To me, it's worth it because this app, I plugged all of my supplements in, and I looked at it and realized that I was getting too much vitamin D in, based on what, like, my multivitamin had, what my calcium plus D3 had, and there may have been even something else that had vitamin D in it. But I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting too much vitamin D. This is not good." Over time, I could get, too much of it. So I cut back. Instead of 2 calcium pills per day, I was taking just 1, and that was still, and I could still see, like, yes, you're still getting enough calcium in for what you need. That works. So I just think it's really cool that you can put all your supplements in Chronometer, and it will tell you percentage wise if you're getting what you need, based on, like, I think it even takes into account, like, your height, your weight, your diet, just different things. Super, super, super cool, you guys. This, and there is a little bit of a learning curve associated with it. Like, like any other app, you kind of got to get used to it and figure out exactly how to do everything. But love it. I love it. And then I wanted to talk about how your supplement needs change depending on your age and stage in life. Okay. So for me in perimenopause, it's important that I'm taking that 50 plus multivitamin, that I'm getting the calcium and vitamin D3 I need, that I'm putting that magnesium in my body for sleep, those sorts of things. Okay. So, but like when I was in my 20s, this would have been different, right? Still, it may be important that you're supplementing. For example, if you're not getting enough fish, maybe omega 3s would be a good option. um, and another point is, if you are on a GLP-1 medication, you may need to supplement a few things. Okay. So GLP-1 medications like tirzepatide, semaglutide, Zepbound, Mounjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic, all of these medicines are medicines that work by delaying gastric emptying. Okay. They make you feel fuller longer. They make you feel fuller faster. They cut down on cravings. They tend to quiet food noise, those sorts of things. So when you don't feel hungry as often, you're not going to eat as much, right? And what some people will do is they're like, okay, I woke up this morning. I'm not hungry. I'm going to grab my cup of coffee that I always get because what coffee makes us feel good, right? It has caffeine, it gets us going. We love it, but we're not. So that cup of coffee on that GLP-1 is going to fill you up for a little while, probably because it has calories. But what are you not getting? You're not getting protein and you're not getting fiber. And those two things are very, very, very important. First of all, protein. Prioritize protein if you were on a GLP-1. I cannot overstate this because protein, your the building blocks of your cells are protein in your body. If you don't give your body protein, that's what causes a lot of muscle loss and hair loss is not getting enough protein. Okay. So, like, maybe put a couple scoops of protein powder in your morning coffee. Perfect. Do a morning smoothie with protein powder. Perfect. Eat eggs for breakfast. Perfect. Make sure what you're taking in is quality. So, like, don't reach for the croissant. Don't reach for the toast. Don't reach for the bread or the roll or the carbs, the heavy carbs. You're not doing your body any good. You may be getting thinner, but your body's not getting what it needs, okay? That's when you start to look you see the Ozempic face or you see these different things. Your body needs these nutrients, okay? And then make sure you're taking in plenty of water. Sometimes these medicines can dry you out. So I always tell patients around half your body weight in ounces of water a day is a good rule of thumb. So make sure you're getting in plenty of water, limit caffeine. Caffeine's going to dry you out more, dehydrate you a little bit more. Um, so yeah. So I'll post on my blog, The Good Tea. I have a name for it now. My blog, The Good Tea, at www.realwithhaley.com. I'll post on there the different supplements and where you can get them. And I'll also post it on my favorites page for easy access for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you check me out on social media on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. I'm on all of those and update frequently. So, whatever your favorite is, follow along there. And make sure you check out the website, www.realwithhaley.com. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great week.